You know, Jason Statham, he just wants to work. He's a working man, after all. He's been a beekeeper, he's been a chauffeur, he's been a mechanic, he's done whatever he does in those Meg movies. The bottom line is this guy gets things done. He's a blue-collar, salt-of-the-earth, hard-working man. I like to consider a lot of his movies these days as part of the Jason Statham beats people up at work cinematic universe. I also understand there's a solid market for films like this. I used to be part of this market. I grew up on Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal and Arnold and Sly. Hell, I was watching a lot of Jason Statham movies. So it is with a heavy heart that I tell you that a working man, along with a lot of the other Jason Statham and Liam Neeson movies that have been crapped out in the last few years, is terrible. And I'm going to talk about it in a spoiler review. We're going right into spoilers on this one. Let's get to work. As I look around for my hard hat to start this review, if you wouldn't mind just grabbing a wrench and tightening up that subscribe button, that way future videos from me will show up in your feed. If you want to make doubly sure, grab that crescent wrench you have on the tool belt and just tighten up the notification bell. And then YouTube is sure to recommend more videos by me, including my Beekeeper review from a year or so back, whenever that happened. This film from the onset seemed to have a lot going for it. Obviously, it's got Statham in it, kicking ass. It's directed by David Ayer, who at one point in time was a good director. He also wrote it along with Sylvester Stallone. The Italian stallion put his pen to paper once more. And I believe it's based on a series of books, 3 of which they cobbled into one story. That's what the internet told me, so I'm gonna believe them. As much as I enjoyed for many, many years the same movie on repeat, but with a different title each time, it is starting to get annoying and cliche and so freaking cheesy now. A working man takes every single trope we have from this industry of films and it puts it front and center until your eyes roll behind your head. We have an ex-military man who's highly specialized and one of the best at what he does, trying to leave it all behind and start fresh. He naturally has a daughter who he's trying to fight for by making an honest living. Unfortunately, bad shit always gravitates in his direction, and the cops are useless to handle the situation, meaning he has to take things into his own hands. Hands he's used to kill many times before. In this movie, Jason Statham plays Levon Cade, or something. He's just Jason Statham, and that's what I'm gonna call him going forward, because the guy is never different. I remember when he used to be. I remember back in the day when he was in a film called Snatch. I freaking love that movie. And that's the brutal part about Jason Statham, is I really like this guy, and I think he's capable of more than these churn and burn action movies he's doing over and over again. And what's more disgusting to me is when people in the comments defend it, and they're like, you know what, Adam? It's okay to have fun with these dumb action movies. Stop being such an asshole. All right? Do you think Jason Statham gives a fuck about these films anymore? He's getting paychecks. He knows that he only has so many years left when he can do roundhouse kicks and uppercuts, so he wants to get them done. And I don't blame him for a second. I just only wish he maybe mixed it up a little bit more. Try finding a movie that plays to some of your other strengths, because you have them, dude. You have them. But let's get into it. The movie starts weird with some, what I imagine was entirely built AI nonsense. It's just a vignette, a montage of different action moments with a red hue laid over the top. Shit's blowing up, people are dying. It's all very abstract and it looks bizarre. We then see Jason Statham on a work site. This guy's a working man, and I believe he's the foreman of this crew. He gives them a little pep talk and they get to work. But it does not take long for trouble to make its way here. As Stath rounds the corner, Stath short for Statham, and he sees one of his men getting roughed up by the local toughs. Careful, Jason, these are some bad hombres, but he walks over there like he has no fear in his eyes because he's ex-military. He's an alpha man. You think these 5 or 6 dipshits are gonna scare him? Not when he has a trusty bucket of screws nearby that he confidently shakes up and down before slow motion throwing at them. Whoa! What, screws? Whoa! And then it's time to go to work. You guys aren't gonna give us any more trouble, are you? I didn't think so. And they don't! That's the end of that whole thing. We never see these bad guys again. We never even learn what was going on in this situation. Why was one of his workers getting beat up? It doesn't matter. This was just to set the stage, to showcase to the audience what a no-nonsense, tough as nails, strong male lead is capable of. And for an action movie in 2025, quite frankly, it's about time. After some chit-chat, he heads to the office where he's gonna see his boss, Michael Pena, and his lovely wife. They talk with him for a while. The daughter's there. She seems likable. She's lovely. She gets kidnapped. That's right. This is a Taken film, but stupid edition. The daughter, who is super impressed with herself for passing a semester of college, heads out with the gals for a night on the town of celebration. But she's gonna be leaving Stag. That night, she is abducted. Later the next day, the Garcias realize their daughter's not coming home. She has probably been kidnapped. The conclusion, I believe they just kind of jumped to. I don't think there was a note or anything. I mean, she's not being used for money. She's being used for sex trafficking. And they know the local authorities aren't gonna do jack nor shit. So they have to turn to the best option known to man, Jason Statham. Statham heads into the office for a sit down with Pena. Pena tells him, hey man, you're like a family to us. He agrees. He goes, you guys gave me a chance when no one else would. You gave me this job. You let me prove myself. And Pena massively respects the guy, said, listen, I spotted you from a mile away, man. I knew you were the good shit. I knew you knew how to get things done. So now I need you to find my daughter, bring her home safely. Will you do it for me, brother? And Statham, being the honorable man he is, says, no, I don't think so. I don't do that anymore. That's not me anymore. Keep in mind, it's never really been established who he was prior to having this job. Was he like a crazy lunatic who was going around shooting places up? I don't know. It's anybody's guess. They don't tell us. And this is one of the million tropes this film has that we have to sit through painstakingly as he decides to come to terms with the fact that he has to be the one to save this girl, and he needs to do this quick because we've already lost almost 2 days of her being missing. Everyone knows that the first 24 to 48 hours are critical, but it's Jason Statham. He can take a week on this, no problem, and she's gonna be perfectly fine, and don't worry, he does. Equally insulting though is this entire trope felt completely unnecessary because right after he says no to Michael Pena, he leaves, goes to his buddy's house and says, yeah, I gotta go find this bitch. I gotta find this girl that went missing. I told the guy no, but I'm obviously gonna do it. So this was all completely useless, unnecessary time to pad out the film. He doesn't even have a conversation about it. His mind's made up. What was the point of any of the last 5 minutes? His friend, by the way, is David Harbour. Harbour plays Gunny. Gunny is a blind combat vet who is going to be in this film for about 3 minutes total. And Harbour really phoning this one in. This is an easy paycheck for him. Now, this movie's 2 hours long, but with the cast they have and all the different factions of people Statham's going to be running into, you would think this was a 5 or 6 episode miniseries on Netflix. There is too much bullshit in this movie. Not only does Cade have to Liam Neeson this teenager, he also has to try to get custody of his kid, who's currently being raised by his dead wife's father. That's right, we have a dead wife in this movie. I think I've seen 5 movies in a row where a parent is dead. We had A Working Man. The last movie was The Woman in the Yard, dead dad. The movie before that was, Snow White, dead parents, both of them. The movie before that was Death of a Unicorn, dead mother. The movie before that was Electric State, both parents dead. Can we write different characters anymore, or do we have to go with the easiest sympathy card ever, every single time? Anyway, Statham is on the case, and this is gonna lead to a series, and by series, I mean a fucking series. I'm talking like 7 or 8 different side quests where he's gonna go to the bar, and then he's gonna go to a Russian house, and then he's gonna go into another bar, and then he's gonna go to a different Russian place. It just never ends. And every time he goes to one of these locations, he meets 4 or 5 new characters that he has to get in with to try to figure out where this girl's at. He is taking so much time though. It's very fortunate for Statham that while he's doing all this Easter egg hunting, the poor girl isn't being tortured. She's just kind of being fed and chilling out in a room. Granted, even the villains are sick of waiting for him at one point, and they do try to make their way with her. She fights back though. She's like, Jason's coming, we're almost to the third act. Calm yourself. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, Adam, who gives two single dicks about the story of this film? We're here for action. We're here for fighting. We just want to see Statham beat people up and say one-liners. Well, you see that a little bit. It takes a while, and when it happens, it's not good. It's lame-ass fighting scenes, and his one-liners are shit. Let me play out a scene for you. He breaks into a bad Russian's house. The dude's in the kitchen. Statham single punch TKOs the guy. Drops him on his ass. Since he's in the kitchen, he looks over, sees a toaster. He grabs the bag of bagels like a man. Jams him into the toaster. Pushes down. And he just sits there for a while. Hard cut to the next scene. The bad guy's now strapped to a chair, tied up, hanging over the edge of a pool, while Jason is eating his freshly toasted bagel. I got hungry. I hope you don't mind. I think that's verbatim what he says and the delivery he gives. Everything is just so cocksure and cringe-inducing in this film. And I think he must have the same contract as Keanu Reeves at this point because he's saying less lines of dialogue with each film that goes by. I'm pretty sure he's paid by the word now. So everything is kind of this stupid catchphrase or just a really short and to the point serious thing. People keep asking me if I'm a working man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm a working man. We spend so much dumbass time in this movie on the relationship with his daughter early on. He's willing to put up every single dollar he has to his name to fight in court to get more time with his kid. And that's admirable. It's respectable. Can't wait to see where it goes. Let me know when you find it because I missed it. It goes nowhere. He sees the daughter. He saves her grandpa's life at one point, so I guess cool. Maybe he gets invited over more for Thanksgiving dinners, but nothing ever happens with the court stuff or anything. It's all just bleh, just stupid. Now, I want to make one thing Billy crystal clear. Some people were upset when I did an out-of-theater reaction for this film. I left the movies about 15 minutes early. I walked out of this movie because I'm fed up with them. I think they're so dumb. If you like movies like this, I don't care. I'm happy for you. I'm glad you get entertainment out of them. I'm happy for you. I'm 42 now, and I've seen this stuff so many times, it's become boring. And a couple comments that I think are fun that I want to just punctuate on. And I'm going to say it as about as obnoxious as I think this person is. Wow, this person has a problem with a Jason Statham film, but will definitely go to the next 18 Avengers films. Probably not the flex you think it is, dumbass. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are fed up with the superhero schlock too. It has run its course. They need to reinvent. They need to try new ideas. It's become so flat and generic. And yes, occasionally one of them still works very well, but that's the same with every genre and subgenre. You can easily still do a Jason Statham kicking ass movie. They made 4 John Wick movies and they're all perfectly pleasant. Nobody was a fun time. Atomic Blonde was cool. These Statham movies feel so lazy and uninspired though. And the dialogue is at a point where I think Fast and the Furious might be actually smarter. I wanted to talk about leaving early because another comment I want to highlight quickly said, the guy left early and he thinks he can do a review of the movie. Yeah, that's going to have any credibility. Am I required to watch a full 2-hour shitfest in order to decide if it's good or not? I've seen enough movies by now, especially in a genre like this, to know there are 0 surprises coming down the pipeline. And so when he's gearing up for his final assault to go save the girl, there is 0 part of me that thinks, oh, he's not gonna save her, she's gonna die, or oh, he's gonna die in combat, he never does. Why would I think anything else would happen at this point? I left. And you know what? Even if the movie did pull out a surprise and kill him off or something, who fucking cares? That doesn't make the movie good. That doesn't even make the movie better. And so I left. And you know what? I can review the movie because I paid money to see the film and I can still give people a heads up to what to expect. And that's what I'm doing. It's a 2-hour movie. It is bloated to hell and back. There are so many characters, and the story is all over as far as where he's going and why he's doing this, and all the different hoops he's jumping through instead of a straightforward rescue mission. Taken figured it out 20 years ago. Is it really 20 years old? I don't know. I just said a number, but sadly it's probably accurate. I bring up this analogy once in a while just to kind of state the point. If you go out to a restaurant and you have a nice meal, but it turns out that meal was not so nice at all and you find yourself hating the thing, do you think you're required to finish each and every bite before making a final verdict on the thing? Or can you say definitively you hate the thing after about 2 or 3 bites? I basically had the full meal. I watched 90% of this thing. But you know what I did next? I waited on putting out my review. Because the next day, the movie Screamboat was playing at 6:45 at my Regal, and Working Man was playing at 4:25, meaning the film was gonna wind down just before Screamboat started up, so I could head back into that screening and watch the last 15 minutes of the movie that I missed. And I did exactly that. So I finished out my shift with Statham. We clocked out together as he took the bad guy's head and smashed it into the tiles while the girl he is trying to save wraps her legs around the female villain and chokes that bitch out. And together they run to freedom. They go into another room where there's a shootout taking place with another cartoon character with a big ass gun. Wipe out! From the director of Suicide Squad, mind you. Working Man uses a sniper rifle and takes one of them out. Then he throws a grenade over his shoulder. It lands next to the other guy. Ruh-roh. We do get a nice scene in the movie, I will say that. The reunion between the daughter and the parents was actually very nice. It was a pretty little scene. I like Pena. He's a good guy. He's a good actor. They're hugging their daughter. They're crying. Jason just stands there like a soldier. Mission accomplished. And then he leaves. And then he goes back to the farm with Hopper from Stranger Things and his daughter. And Hopper touches him on the shoulder and he's like, welcome home. Welcome home. Like he was gone so long. How long was he gone for? I thought this was a 4 or 5 day thing. And where was he at before that? He was working a job. He was saving up some coin. Was this the final kill spree he had to go on to get it out of his system? No, you know Statham's gonna be back in Beekeeper 2. You know he's gonna be surfing with Megs again in Meg 3. You know he's got more work to do in a Working Man sequel. To work too manly. And so yeah, I watched the whole movie, fucker. You can't even use that complaint anymore. If I was in a movie, it would be called A Petty Man. Because that's how I sound right now. But I want to just say this. A Working Man, not for me. It was very dumb. The action didn't save it at all. It's all stuff you've seen a million times. Weird AI thrown into the beginning didn't set the stage very well. And I just, there's really nothing in this film that I thought, wow, I definitely need to stay for this. It felt so long. It just never ended. He kept going from location to location. Like, when are you gonna find this girl? I felt like I could have found her faster than he did. Leave a comment down below if you saw this film, if I'm wrong, if this was just a real true piece of cinema that you enjoyed from front to back, just a fun time at the theaters. I can be wrong, that's okay, but I'm not. Like the video, please again think of subscribing if you haven't. I post movie reviews, commentary, rants, roasts, live streams every week. Would love to have you stick around, and hopefully you do just that, and I see you next time. All right, it's time to go to work. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge. Appreciate your time. Thanks.